guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video we are going to be talking about finances, how much I pay for school, and how I manage to pay for school. So we're gonna get right into the video. I think there's two things that really make a huge difference on how much you end up paying for school, and that is the program you choose to go to and the school you choose to go to. There is programs where you can get your RN, and there's also programs where you can get your BSN. So you can be a registered nurse or get your bachelor's in science and nursing. So I am currently getting my bachelor's science and nursing, and the reason why I chose to get my BSN is because nowadays hospitals really do expect you to have your BSN, and they're really not hiring nurses that don't have their BSN. I used to work at a nursing home slash rehab center. Many of the nurses that worked there were RNs, and a lot of them were trying to move to a hospital, but the reason why they wouldn't is because if they were to transfer to a hospital, they will hire them as a CNA or a PCT. So they will go from being nurses to nurse assistants. It's really not like it was back in the day where hospitals used to just hire nurses. Now they really are encouraging people to get their BSN because, you know, they just want that. That's one of the reasons why I decided to get my BSN. It's obviously going to be a little bit more expensive when you get your BSN than getting your RN, because you are going for longer when you're getting your BSN compared to just getting your RN. Now, the school that you choose to go to makes a huge difference on how much you end up paying for school. And also, if you decide to get your prereqs at a community college and then you decide to transfer all those credits to a university, you are going to save so much money. You have no idea. Like for me, that's exactly what I did. I got all my prereqs, everything, my science classes, everything. I got it out of the way at a community college, paid about $400 per credit hour, and then moved to a university to get my BSN. For example, I have friends that are in the same, in the same program with me. We're graduating at the same time and everything, but they were a year before there in my school because they were getting their prereqs done at the university. They are so high up in debt because they got all their prereqs done in my current school, so they were paying about $1,200 to even like $1,500 per credit hour when I was paying for the $500 per month. Obviously the prices are like they're off, but I'm just giving you an average of the credit hours prices. But yeah, it's a huge difference how much you end up saving if you do decide to go to get your prereqs done at a community college. And honestly, at the end of the day, it's the same thing. Like, nobody's gonna hire you and be like, oh no, you got your prereqs done at a community college, I can't hire you. No, they don't. You know what I mean? So I definitely encourage you to save money that way. Now, many people decide to stay at a community college and get their registered nurse associates before transferring to a school to get their BSN. That's actually another way to save up money, because you get your prereqs done at a community college and you also get your registered nurse degree at a community college. Not every community college offers the RN degree, but there's a lot of them, and there's really good ones that do offer it. I know a lot of friends that went and got their RN associates at a community college and then decided to move to a university to get their BSN. Like I said, that's a really good way to save up money too, because eventually you can take your RN degree and take it to a university where you can get your BSN. The reason why I decided not to do that is, one, I didn't get accepted to go into a community college. If you've seen my videos, I talked about how one of the counselors at a community college literally told me, don't even apply because you don't even qualify, and she encouraged me to change careers. But I'm not even gonna talk about that. So I was very discouraged after talking to that counselor, so I decided to look at different programs, and I ended up finding a program that actually was more fitting to me, which is the school that I'm going to. I am getting my BSN in 2 years because it is an accelerated program, and that's honestly the most perfect thing that could have ever happened to me. So the tuition in my school annually is about $27,000 to $30,000 a year, and I know know it's a lot of money, but honestly, before I started the nursing program, I had all my doubts, and I was just wondering, like, am I really gonna spend about $50,000 to $60,000 for this degree? Like, I kept going back and forth in my mind, and a friend of mine told me, well, if you don't mind spending, I'm buying a car, I'm buying this, I'm going here and spending money there, why would you mind spending money on yourself, something that is going to be so beneficial for yourself in the future? And that really got me thinking. I was like, well, that's true. You really have to think about things like that, because the best thing that you can do is invest in yourself, because nobody else is going to do it besides you. So it was really difficult for me to make the decision, because the same year that I started nursing school, which was last year, is the same year that my husband and I decided to buy a house. So we bought the house in March of 2019, and I started nursing school in May of 2019. So it was definitely a hard decision, but we both had to sit down and really think about our options and just think about our priorities, you know. And obviously we've had to sacrifice a lot. Like, we haven't traveled, we haven't done much, but I much rather do what I'm doing right now, because I know that once I graduate and once I'm settled in my job, we're just gonna be able to do a lot more than we did even before, you know. So I'm just grateful that I had a partner that supported me 100%, and even though it was scary for both of us, it was kind of like, go for it and we'll figure it out together. We also had to take advantage that it was just him and I, like, we have no kids, so it was kind of like, you know, helping each other out without the worry of having kids and more expenses like that. So when I started nursing school, I did apply for FAFSA, but unfortunately I didn't get any free money. However, I did receive a federal loan for $1,600,000, which is half of my tuition. Obviously, I'm attending 2 years, so I'm receiving another $16,000 this year. So in total, I'm gonna owe about $32,000, which is not terrible, to be honest. So I really had to sit down and think, okay, well, they're paying for half of my tuition. How am I gonna pay the rest of it? I am the type of person that always, since I was younger, I have always saved money. So I had a good amount of money saved, and I also have always worked like 2 jobs. And at the time where I started nursing school, I did work 2 jobs. I was a bottle service girl, and I was also a CNA. So I was making pretty good amount of money, and like I said, I had a good savings, so I was comfortable. My husband was doing good at his job as well. So even though we knew it was gonna be a lot, we just knew that we were gonna be able to handle it. So monthly, roughly, I pay about $2,400 a month. Now every month is completely different, because I do take different classes that have different credit hours. So depending on the credit hours, sometimes I do more, sometimes I do less. So it all really depends on how many classes I'm taking and how many credit hours the classes are. Sometimes, like I said, I pay, you know, a little more than other months, but the average amount is about $2,400 a month. Guys, my camera died and I don't know where I left off, but I know it's really hard, especially with how everything's right now. Honestly, you always have to find a way when you are entering something like that, especially, like I said, me and my husband were just buying a house. I was so nervous, like, I'm gonna have to pay this much a month, like, am I gonna be able to do it? And honestly, there are just so many other things that you can do. Like, obviously, if you have a parent that can help you, like, for example, my parents were like, if you need help with anything, just let us know. So it was great to have that support system, but I understand that not everybody has that. So I have friends that are literally in the same situation as I am, where they got a federal loan for half of their tuition, and with the other half, they're not paying it out of pocket because they can't. So what they're doing is they got a personal loan. So there are so many other options. If you don't have credit, you can have a co-signer to help you out, but you just have to find a way to figure it out, you know, because like I said, it's gonna be hard regardless. Like, it's gonna be really hard. So you just have to find the best way that works for for you and your family. Just know that once everything is done and all the sacrifices that you've made are going to be worth it, because you're gonna have a career that you're gonna love so much, and not only you're gonna love, but it's gonna pay you well. And I'm not saying the nurses are rich or anything, but you get a really good salary, so you're gonna be able to pay it within a year or two depending on your situation. But for me, my goal is to pay it right away. You know, my husband was like, as soon as you graduate, that's what we're doing. We're paying your student loans and we're gonna just forget that that ever happened. So, you know, you just have to make a plan and shoot high, guys. Shoot high. Forget about all the walls you put in front of yourself. Break every wall in front of you and just shoot high. Like, never settle for less. Never think you deserve less. You deserve everything. Especially when it comes to you, you need to give yourself everything. And even if it's putting yourself in a little bit of debt, it is what it is. As long as you are happy with your job and as long as you're doing something that you truly love doing, it's worth it. And that's just the way I see it. All right, guys, that's all I have for today's video. I really hope I answered all of your questions, and if I didn't, just leave it in the comments down below. Please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to like and subscribe. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one.